long, not as not less. I don't know what is happening. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's okay.
We can hear you.
Okay. So normally this kind of chronic exposure are long at least 1 month, but normally the duration is based on the plant life cycle. And the final goal of this evaluation is to study the physiological responses of plant, because in longer period we are able to monitor and also evaluate different response in different time of exposure. For example, we are able to evaluate oxidative stress, because when plant is subjected to stress, it is able to produce a lot of reactive oxygen species that which in turn are counteracted by antioxidant compound. Then also we can evaluate the photosynthetic pigment production, also sugar production, because they are related with photosynthesis, because as you know, the final product of photosynthesis is carbon. And based on the result that we will obtain, we will decide in which direction address our analysis. So here you have an example of acute exposure. We supplied our plant with different sewage sludge concentration. And as you can see here, our plant were really less developed respect control plant. In this other case, our plant were more developed, because we treated sewage sludge as with effective microorganisms. What are effective microorganisms? These microorganisms are a kind of microorganism normally present in nature, such as photosynthesizing bacteria, yeast, fungi, that are able to help plant by increase its development. In fact, as you can see from the picture, plants treated with effective microorganisms and sewage sludge were more developed respect to plant treated only with sludge. And what it means? It means that these effective microorganisms have been a kind of role in sludge detoxification, and also that they have improved plant development. And in this case, we have added directly sludge to the soil. Here we have another example of acute exposure using always sludge, but in different way. In this way, we have used sludge extract. That means that we have washed our sludge with water, and then we have used water to water our plant. And what you can see that in this case, where plants were treated only with sludge, the development was clearly less than control plants, against of plants treated with sludge and effective microorganisms that showed a complete development. Here we have the same exposition, but with a higher concentration of sludge, And as you can see, the effective microorganisms have worked very well in helping the plant to growth and develop. Here you have an example of chronic exposure. It was longer, 1 month more or less, and in this exposure, plants are treated with 2 different fuselage concentration, as you can see, added directly to the soil always. And as you can see that also in this case is visible, is clearly visible differences with untreated plant, okay, plant growth in normal soil against plant growth in soil added with sewage sludge that are clearly less developed, because of course they have suffered. Now our topic, our focus is investigate in physiological response, and I have already mentioned it. We will investigate in oxidative stress, pigment production, sugar production, but also we would like to investigate in heavy metal quantification, because the sewage sludge that we use is full of heavy metals such as copper, chromium, zinc, mercury, and we would like to see if plant has uptake this kind of heavy metal. So thank you for your attention. But before to say you goodbye, I would like, because he is part of my presentation, I would like to introduce you a student that talk about his experience here. So please.
Thank you. Good morning. Dobro jutro. Jaz bom govoril tudi v slovenščini. Sem Darjan Rampih, trenutno sem zaključil 2. letnik Univerze Fakultete za znanost o okolju. Saro sodelujeva zdaj že par mesecev. Meni se zdi ta fakulteta zelo zanimiva, je zelo interdisciplinarna. Imate zelo, prvo leto je bolj program narejen bolj tako splošno, se pravi, imate te splošne temelje, kjer gradite svoje znanje oziroma pač ga dopolnjujete iz srednje šole. Zanimivo je, da imamo v 1. letniku se začne skupinski projekt, kjer v bistvu traja 1. letnik in 2. letnik, kjer v bistvu z mentorji sodelujemo in izvajamo naš projekt, ki je na to lahko tudi publiciran. Je zelo zanimiv iz tega vidika, da dobimo zelo veliko praktičnega znanja, kar pomeni veliko časa v laboratorijih, veliko časa na terenu, veliko časa o preučevanju, kar je tudi ves smisel tega. V 2. letniku pa se začnejo v bistvu bolj splošno, začnejo se bolj specifični okoljski predmeti pojavljati, tako da se tudi o tem več naučimo. Sama fakulteta se meni zdi zanimiva, všeč mi je ta interdisciplinarnost predavateljev, tako da nimamo samo raznih predavateljev iz Slovenije, ampak v bistvu iz vseh okoliških držav, Italije, Romunije in tako naprej. Tudi iz Ukrajine imamo in take zadeve. Saro sodelujeva na tem projektu, kakor je že ona fino razložila, raziskujeva toxicity oziroma toksičnost rastlin v različnimi pogoji, ali akutno, ali dolg časa. Raziskujeva razne encime, morava gojiti rastline, potem ekstrakcijo delava rastlin. Najna aparatura je v bistvu spektrofotometer, kjer v bistvu delava vse te poskuse in beležba absorbance na spektrofotometru, kjer na to dobiva najne rezultate. Sem tudi predstavnik študentov za Fakulteto za znanost o okolju Tako da tisti prvi letniki, ki se vpisujete mogoče iz srednje šole, če imate kakršnekoli vprašanja, me lahko najdete na Facebooku in poprašate v fakulteti še bolj podrobno, če vas kakršnekoli zanima. To je pa z moje strani to. Hvala, da ste poslušali našo predstavitev in lep dan še naprej.
Thank you. So for me, is all. If you have some questions, please ask me.
Thank you, Sarah. It was very interesting presentation and also very important, useful studies which have direct impact on environment, on utilization of waste. So I think the topic is really very that kind of closely related to communities, this plants which clean sludges, treat water. So the impact is really can be seen very clearly. So thank you for this presentation. If there are questions, feel free to ask. Just open your microphone and then you can ask. Sarah,
Yeah.
I would like to ask you about this waste treatment. So you used, maybe I missed that point. You add some these microorganisms in the sludge.
Yeah.
What kind of microorganisms are these? How you prepare them?
I mean, this is a kind of commercial mixture that you can buy. Okay. In this case, the factory has supplied us this kind of effective microorganism to test if effectively they are able to work or not in our topic. And they, as I already mentioned, they are microorganisms that normally are present in nature, and in this way they are not in conflict with plant or other organisms. Okay, they could be, for example, photosynthetic bacteria or yeast or fungi that normally are involved in a kind of degradation of organic matter, for example. In fact, this kind of organisms are already used in agriculture to improve the yield of crop. Mm-hmm. And our was been a kind of experimentation to evaluate if these effective microorganisms combined with sludge were able to help the plant in the growth and development.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. And if I don't know how much microorganisms you add in the soil, is it little or?
No, not so much. I mean, microorganisms are added to the sludge because
yeah, I mean to the sludge. Yes.
Yes, we are treated the sludge, not the soil. This is a kind of protocol to do it.
But and as a quantity, how much you add roughly?
You know,
yeah.
I mean, in our case, we have added 4 grams of microorganisms in each 30 grams of sludge. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, due to the fact that this is a kind of experimentation, you can play a little bit with this measure, with this quantity. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
It was very interesting to hear this talk. So if there are other questions, please feel free to ask. Petra, maybe you can say something.
Hvala. Thank you, Sara. Najlepša hvala za predstavitev. Sedaj, čez 10 minut, bo sledila nova predstavitev Katje Džepina, in sicer z naslovom Majhni delci so vse povsod okoli nas. Tako da predlagam, da počakamo še 10 minut. So we can wait, right? 10 minutes.
Yeah, we wait 10 minutes.
Okay.